Hello, Master Tax here and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to have a look at the new Tier 7 Czechoslovakian heavy tank. It is the VZ-44-1. And as always, before we get into the action, I'll show you my crew and equipment that I've currently got on this tank. Also, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I had to start a new crew on this tank, but I did have a commander in my barracks, so he's onto his 4th skill, the rest are only onto the 2nd skill, so I don't have Brothers in Arms activated. The equipment I use in the special survivability slot is vents, then I've got a turbocharger and improved rotation mechanism. So let's have a look at it in action. Today I'm playing on Cliff. It's an encounter battle, which means both teams are attacking the same base. And I've got the 7-8 matchmaking and I'm top tier today. And what I want to do is go around the bottom of the lighthouse, face the heavies down there and hopefully get behind the enemy, who will be roughly where the base is. So when the last patch came out, the 1.14, all the Czechoslovakian heavy tanks were in that patch, and I managed to have the blueprints and the free XP to get them all with the top equipment on. And what I found straight away, which doesn't really apply to this tank, is that you can have them as a 2-shot auto loader. That is the mechanic for these tanks, but I didn't like it, so I've gotten rid of all the 2-shot auto loading guns and I've put the standard guns on. And what happens when you do that, it improves your gun handling massively when you've just got the single shot gun on, which makes it far easier to choose your equipment for the tank. But enough about the other tanks, let's talk about this tank. When I first got it, I really didn't like it. I only had a commander because I used all my other special crew members for the higher tier tanks, so I only had a decent commander and I had to start with a fresh crew. But once I got a crew up to 100% and then got the first skill on them, I'm onto the 2nd skill as I've just shown you. I have started to enjoy this tank and I'm really looking forward to having Brothers in Arms on it, so it gets a little bit better. The biggest downside to this tank that I find is its mobility. You get a top speed going forward, it's only 30 kilometers an hour. That's why I've got a turbo which takes it up to 34 kilometers an hour, which still isn't great. 16 kilometers an hour in reverse. Also the DPM is quite poor. What happens with these tanks, it doesn't really apply to this tank, but if you choose to have the single shotguns on your tanks, you can't have a gun rammer as one of the equipment. It's just not available, so you can't improve the DPM. So with my crew and equipment, I've only managed to get the DPM to 1700 on this. We'll get a little bit better once I get Brothers in Arms. So back to the battle. I was going to go around the back, but there was somebody flanking us in the middle really quick, so I decided to go to the middle. What I've done in the middle is I've taken the edge of this cap, and what I'm trying to do is play a hull down. The tanks are pushing back, there's nothing to my side shooting us, so I can farm all this damage quite easily, playing hull down. What I find with this tank, it is quite good hull down. You do have the cupola on the top, but apart from that, the armour is quite good. Just got a tank to my side, so I've got to pull back. I am bouncing his shots, 34-85. What I don't want to do is keep on attacking the tank slightly to my right over the ridge when this tank's on me left. So I'm waiting for him to push out, make a mistake. There's a shot into him, just pull him back, bounce his shot again. The teammates are also getting shots into him. Once we take him out, I'll be able to push, get these 2 tanks here, the T-29 and the Cromwell. They've pushed him back, there's a Cromwell, took him out. I went for the Cromwell because he was one shot and taken out. Always try and take the tanks out that are one-shotters, so you haven't got 2 guns firing at you. So I've snuck a shot into the T-29. I don't think he's got the big gun, which is good for me. I have tracked him in position, so just pull him back while I reload, stay and hold down. He's a one-shotter and taken out. So I will tell you about the armour on this tank. On the hull you get 110mm on the front, which isn't too bad because it's sloped. 80mm on the side, which is really good, especially for side scraping. 60 on the rear, which isn't too bad. And then on the turret you get 200mm on the front, which is really nice. side of an EMX. Nice shot into him. And then back to the armour. As I was saying, 200 on the front, 80mm on the side, 80mm on the rear. So the last tanks are all bunched in the same area. So I'm just going to try and peek off the edge. With this tank you do get 8 degrees of gun depression, which is nice. I'll quickly tell you about the gun while I'm getting shots into these from up on the top. It is 105mm, which is really nice at tier 7. It has 206mm of penetration, so the penetration is quite good. And then you get 320 alpha damage. With my crew and equipment, I've got a reload time of 11.29 seconds, which gives you that bad DPM. I've got an aim time of 2.33 seconds, and my dispersion is 0.41, so the gun handling is really poor. So don't think that you can sit back and snipe, because this tank will definitely not work doing that. Although the stats don't sound great for this tank, and I'm making it look decent by playing as top tier, but I do have to say, I did master this tank. I don't in this battle, but I did master it, and I was actually in a tier 9 battle. I also didn't fire any gold, so you can make this tank work against higher oppositions. Let's have a quick look at the stats. Was a class 1 badge. We've got the steel wall, which have got to receive the most hits, at least 11 of any other player on your team, with potential damage of at least 1000 hit points and survive. We bounce 1265 potential damage. We also got the high caliber for our 3639 damage with 675 assist. Top of the tree for XP with a base XP of 1386. Top for damage by a long way. We made 49,000 credits plus 6,237 XP, that's due to personal reserve bonus and an award for the first victory each day, which was at ×2. I'd like to thank you for watching today's battle. I hope the information was useful. If you've enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like it or add comments. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Cheers.